Hi guys, it's Easy here. So today I'm here with another Dragon Empire standard deck profile, and this time I'll be covering the Shojodoji right line, and of course the deck that built around it. It's a very budget deck while it's being very strong to play with. If you are looking for like a very aggressive deck, but you don't want to spend a lot of money, this is definitely a good choice for you to try out. And even if you just want to enjoy this deck in casual, first, it doesn't cost you a lot, and second, it's really so much fun to actually play with the deck. You do need some thinking, like using some of your brain power to pilot this deck very well, but overall things are easy. It's just a matter of what you choose, what timing you choose, and what the outcome it is. So let's talk about the right line first. So Grace will do nothing. These two are on place, so they both when on place you can look at top 5 of your deck and choose up to 2 of your stealth or ninja cards from them and review them. And then you first put one of the card into your soul for both, and then the remaining ninja card that you review as the 2 of this actually get bind. This get close to the Regard Circle. So depending on different cards that you see, sometimes you can set up for your grade 3 play by binding the right cards, and then for grade 2 you can actually call some good cards that you are already kind of want them to help you out in the situation. For example, to draw cards, to beat your opponents hard, to help you search more cards. There's a lot of things you can do. But of course, depending on the situation, and since these two are searching for ninja cards so heavily, this set will be heavily focused on using cards that with stealth in their name. Right, and then we have a grade 3, which is the main guy that brings us to victory. So he gets actually 2 skills. First skill is a once per turn active skill. By binding 2 ninja cards or stealth cards from your soul, then you choose 2 of your opponent's Regard Circles, not unit Regard Circles, and you bind all the cards on that Regard Circle, and then those cards will go to your opponent's hand when turn ends. So you get to clear intercepts, you get to clear units that you cannot retire. You can get rid of cards that say you have to target them first because you bypassed it. You are targeting circles, not actually targeting regards. So there's a lot of things you can do to make your opponents annoying. And since targeting circles, if all the cards on the board, you don't want any of them to go back to your opponent's hand, and there are 2 empty circles, you can actually target those 2 empty circles, nothing get bounced, and your effect is gone while you successfully bind 2 stealth cards from your soul. That is also possible. So do be careful on using this skill, because if you just spam this skill, you will run out of soul a little bit fast, because you might want the soul for something else, and those annoying cards, when they get back to your opponent's hand, it will be very annoying as well. And the second skill is when this card attacks the Vanguard, you can counterblast 1, send 2 of your Regard into your soul. By doing that, you can call 1 ninja or stealth card from your bind zone to Regard Circle. And if your opponent is a grade 3 or higher Vanguard, during the turn, the unit that you call from the bind zone also get 10k. So if you are going first, the plus 10k will not proc unless your opponent is superior before you by whatever ways they do, usually not. So it is a very good deck going second, but if you're going first, this skill is still going to help you out because you get to attack once more, and if you use the right unit, the plus 10k is a good to have but not a must, right? So that's basically how we pilot the deck, is to search our ninjas and then put them to the bind zone, put them to the soul, and keep recycling those. And then with Shojodoji's free effects, you can actually do 4 attacks return. So it's not only free, you get an extra attack, and that will help you out. Going to the main deck, of course we have our Personage for more souls, for more attacking power, because this deck, it hits hard, but who doesn't want to have more attack points? Who doesn't want more souls for doing the work? Who doesn't want more cards in hand so that they can use? So Personage is still needed. And Shojodoji himself is also a stealth, so that's definitely helping you out when you even don't have any resources. You still get to call this card to be a 23k attacker if your opponent is grade 3 or higher Vanguard, so still good, still great. And then the star of this deck is definitely this card, Stealth Dragon Unprecedented. So this card really like saving the whole deck, and also to the other unit that you can get it from here, the Snake, the promo that I just got them today when I threw this deck profile, and I will also do that deck profile in a bit, but this card really saved those decks. So what this card does is, first, if this card is being called by card effects to Riga Circle, if you have a Tamayura or a Shojodoji Vanguard, you get some +1 to draw 1, and your right line is basically Shojodoji for every single grade. So even if you use your grade 2 skill to call this card out, you get to draw, which is very, very important. And then the second skill is a permanent skill. If this turn there are 2 or more Rigas that go from Riga Circle to your soul, then this unit will get plus 10k. So after you use your Shojodoji effects, the 10k will just simply apply, because you put 2 units into your soul from Riga Circle, and you call something from your bind zone. And if you combine it with Shojodoji's skill to actually call this card out, you get a soul +1 draw 1, and this card will just plus 20k by himself with 2 skills combined. So if 23k beater is just there, and with the Snake, you actually get to do 6 attacks, and they will be at least 23k. So yeah, you can see how terrible the opponents will be when they see this card. And what good about this card is you have so much ways to actually recycle this card, right? So the only way, or like, well, there's a few ways actually, that this card is not a threat to your opponent is, one, it is not bind but completely removed from game. So far we don't have this. You don't draw into this at all, or they all go to the damage. That's probably the worst cases you'll see with this card. Else, if you put it in the drop zone or get retired to the drop zone, you have ways to put it back into your soul and reuse it again. If your opponent bind it, even better. You can call it back out and say, okay, bind me, I'm coming back, right? So this card is just so strong by itself, combining with Shojodoji. So it is a must card for you, and this card draw you cards. That means you, in your trigger lineup, you can actually think of not using any draw triggers at all, because this card bit hard, draw you cards, and can be reused. It's just that great. Okay, next I am running 4 of the Jakumetsu arcs. So this is all archer, and this is how we make use of Shojodoji skill when you bind your opponent's cards. Because this card, when it appears on Riga Circle from the bind zone, it first get 5k plus, so it can be a 15k attacker. Simply add an 8k to be 23k, and then second skill, when this card attacks as a regard, you can still +1 and put 1 card from your opponent's bind zone, put it to the bottom of the deck. It doesn't have to be cards that bind by Shojodoji. It can be cards that your opponents bind by themselves that they might have some whatever way to do whatever things. I think for Black Wing, White Wing is also the bind effect. I don't play the nations that much, so I might be wrong, but if it's bind, then this might be something that actually ruins their play. Yeah, so of course, if it's bind, then you increase their bind zone with different grades, but also ruin them. But yeah, that's another way to be annoying. I do kind of want to actually cut some of these, because in the end I don't touch so much cards to the bind zone, and I don't need to send them back to the bottom of the deck that much. But so far, well, before we have other kind of support, I think this is still a good card to have, because we want to maximize all the stealth that we have, and this card is just a straight support 15k beater by itself, so I think it's still got it positioned in the deck. But so far I see it to be reduced in the future. And then I'm running 4 of the Sumugi. So Sumugi is a Soul Blast one to put 1 stealth card into your soul from drop zone. So you get to switch your drop zone card with your soul to fulfill your needs. For example, if all these go to the drop zone and you have your extra Shojodoji, you can just simply Soul Blast that, put this in, and then bind it to call it again. So that's basically his uses, but it's very simple while being important in this deck to kind of make your resources kind of infinite. But do remember, this card uses a soul for another one, so do be careful to control the amount of souls that you use, right? Okay, and next I'm running 2 of the Kisaraji. So this is a retire card for a column. Only retire 1 unit in the column with this card, so it won't retire 2, and it costs you a soul. Counterblast I think is okay, means you don't get to use your counterblast that much, and this is mainly the reason I'm using this card, because I do want some retire power. Bind is great, send them to the bottom of the deck is great, but sometimes you just want them to the drop zone, you just want them gone. So I'm using this card as a little toolboxing card for removal. So it's also a stealth dragon, so it has its place, at least from my point of view. And then 2 of the Folktale, I think a lot of people want to maximize her at 4, because she actually search you ninja cards or stealth cards that actually put into your soul, so you can use them. But I want to utilize myself with more different tools, so I'm only using 2. And of course, another reason is the other ones are actually in my Tamayura deck. I don't have 2 playsets, so I start with 2, and it still feels great. That's basically about it. And then I'm running 2 of the Komaan. So this is another Stealth Fiend. It's a new card from the set, and it actually has an interesting effect that when it appears from hand to regular circle, so you cannot use any other superior call effects to make it to active. By counterblast 1, you choose one of your opponent's bind zone cards, send to the bottom of the deck. If you cannot do that, then you can actually get to call a stealth card from your bind zone that is lower or equal to the grade of your Vanguard to the regular circle. So you get to put one of them away, or you get to call one from yourself that maybe you actually want to call more. Sometimes that happens. That's why I find this card very interesting. I get to get rid of annoying cards by not using Soul because it's using Counter Blast 1, and I actually get to have myself prepare for more units when I don't have units on the field. So at least it can increase my number of attacks to kind of getting me closer to doing 4 attacks per turn. So I think this card is very interesting. That's why I'm running 2 to basically test the skill, and so far it's doing me great. And then 2 of the Stealth Dragon, Fushima Shimatoka. So this is something that also people like to run 4 of because it gets plus 10k shield if your opponents have 8 cards in more cards in drop. So this is a very good shield value. It can be a 10k booster, it can be 10k attacker. It has so many uses, but again, I'm trying to utilize like cards that have different effects and just play around with them. Or else, usually people might just cut these 4 into 4 Frogtails and then 4 of the Madoka. So it's up to you. And 2 other spots that you can touch is the Dokachirashi. It is a card that goes into soul, so it fills your soul. It's a stealth that you can get to search. That's basically it. And then, of course, I'm running 4 of the starter Stealth Dragon PG, so it get to be like worst case scenario, you can just use it through your searches, and you still get to even just play it, bind it. It's still a stealth card, so when you're lacking cards, this at least is a card that fits the name that you can use, and then at least help your engine to keep moving. But normally you just use it as a PG, and yeah, that's basically it. Triggers. Dragon and Powerful trigger, because Withstand is great, and since it's a budget build, so I'm just using all the vanillas. Crits, so I'm not using the swing crit. To me, I don't think it matters because I usually won't drop the crit trigger down to put into the soul, and it's not a stealth unit, so you won't get any extra benefit from it. So I rather just keep it simple. But fronts is needed because I don't run draws. I'm using it very actually drawing cards, so that is good enough. And what I need is defense. So 20k shield is very important, and then heals, I'm just using vanilla heals because just to keep it budget. And even though the effect heals are not expensive at all, but still there are too many chances that they can't fit my needs, so I'd rather just have higher shield value and just go for it. Yeah, so that's basically the deck profile. And again, what you need to do is to try secure 3 attacks and prepare units from your bind zone to call them out with Shojodoji, and do your 4th attack. Keep doing that every single turn, and what's left is just the matter of choosing what units to bind, choosing what units to call at what moment with what power. Yeah, and just play it simple, play it remember just to try to do 4 attacks. The deck is like 90% ninjas or like 80%, except the triggers, only except the triggers. So usually you won't miss anything, but if you're that unlucky, then there's nothing you can do. And worst case, these 2 can still Soul Blast 1 to call the Riga Cycle bind zone, so you at least have some units to do your attacks, and you can still send them back to the soul and then send them to bind zone to reuse them. So this deck hardly fails. It just the kind of tech power sometimes is not enough. It's not enough to stay for a longer game because you run out of resources. But other than that, I think it's a very good deck to entry the game, good deck to have fun with, and maybe sometimes can even win you tournaments because it's just acts so fast. If opponents have no idea what it does and give you all the resources you need, allow you to do all the actions you need to do, they will be in trouble. Yeah. So that's it for this deck profile. Like this video if you like more of these deck profiles. Subscribe to my channel for more deck profiles, deck fights, unboxings, yeah, and sometimes some other collection stuff. And then yeah, just comments down below if you have any questions, any other suggestions on this deck, anything. Just comments down below, let me know, and I will see you guys in the next video. Signing off.